So within the last hour and a half, Phoenix police were conducting surveillance on a man that they knew had some felony warrants and had recently committed an aggravated assault against somebody with a rifle. While they were on this surveillance, the man came out of the house and fled that area. Unfortunately, before he fled, he actually pointed a rifle at one of the Phoenix police officers. Man got into a vehicle, fled at a high rate of speed. He must have struck something because his vehicle became disabled pretty quickly. We're looking into what it was that caused that to occur. There's evidence that as he fled in that vehicle, he was also firing shots from that rifle. In the area of about 3500 West Van Buren, he abandoned that vehicle and stole another vehicle using the rifle against the victim as a threat. He took that man's vehicle and again fled at a high rate of speed. It was in this area of 3300 West Washington Street where officers from our Special Assignments Unit were able to intercept him. They actually collided with his vehicle in a controlled movement. It was at that time of the collision that he continued to try to escape. Shots were fired. We do not believe he was struck at this time with shots. We do know that he was bit by one of our police dogs, and he was likely struck with some non-lethal rounds that we were using also to take him into custody. He's been taken to a local hospital. He's expected to recover from his injuries. There's an officer out here, I think, has a bloody lip, some very minor injury, but no officers were significantly hurt at this time. There are no other reports of injuries. We'll have the area locked down for the next 4 to 5 hours, I would say. But right now the neighborhood is safe, and we'll be investigating.
Where did this initial surveillance of this man begin?
It initially started about 2200 West Tonto, so not far from here, actually. It stayed mostly in the West Valley here, on the west side of Phoenix. And a man circled around and then came back to this location.
What kind of rifle are you talking about?
I haven't seen it yet, but it was definitely a long gun.
We were hearing
rifle
an assault rifle, not so?
I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know for sure.
Was he firing at people?
We're not sure. So again, there were some reports of shots being fired through it. There is evidence that shots were fired at that vehicle, but we haven't determined yet what he was firing at.
So he basically carjacked, after his vehicle became disabled, he carjacked another motorist?
Absolutely. He took that rifle out and stole somebody's vehicle at rifle point.
When the collision took place here, did he fire any shots at officers?
It's a little early to tell. There's no immediate indications that he was able to fire off any rounds, but the investigators will have to look into that to be sure.
A witness, whether how good their input is, they said that a lot of shots were fired when they initially hit that vehicle. That's not the case, or these are non-lethal rounds?
There was a combination of non-lethal rounds. So they're probably hearing a variety of different things. There were shots from a rifle fired, and then there were non-lethal tools used against them also. That would sound similar to the layman.
Non-lethal, like beanbags? Do you have any idea?
Something along those lines, beanbags or foam rounds, things like that.
Busy 24 hours, 48 hours.
It's been a very busy 24 hours. I think we're very fortunate that we didn't have any people hurt as we have people driving around our community like this. We're very fortunate we haven't had any officers significantly hurt, and we have 2 men now, well, from yesterday, several men, but certainly we have 2 very dangerous men in custody.
Think about how difficult it is to keep people safe in these type of situations and scenarios.
It is absolutely one of the hardest things we do. The amount of information that the officers and the supervisors need to process every second of the way to figure out how can we do this the safest way possible. How necessary is it to do it immediately? And when we have people like yesterday and today, they've already shown their propensity for violence. If we don't stop some of these people, it's more likely that they're going to cause more harm to our community if we don't apprehend them without delay.
What were the two vehicles? What was he initially fleeing in, and what kind of vehicle did he carjack? Do you know that?
They were both SUVs. I think the first vehicle he was in is a Tahoe, and the second one is a Buick, smaller SUV type vehicle.
I apologize if you answered it, but you guys were surveilling him for some warrants. You said, you know what those were for?
I believe there was a parole violation warrant, and then I forget the other one specifically. And then again, within the past 4 or 5 days, he committed another aggravated assault with a rifle against another victim.
Was there a warrant for that one too?
Not yet.
Okay.
That was a new, fresh investigation.
And again, the injuries to that suspect, non-life-threatening.
Non-life-threatening again. At this point, it looks like he was struck with a non-lethal tool and a dog bite.
Was he in the vehicle when those shots were being fired?
Yes, he was. As soon as I get more information, I'll get back to you guys.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.